Here is a question that's going to make you uncomfortable. Could you go an entire weekend without spending a single dollar? Not a. I'll try to spend less weekend. Not a I'll only buy necessities weekend. I'm talking about $0 from Friday night to Sunday night. No coffee runs, no takeout. No impulse Target trips. No just one drink with friends. Nothing. Most people think they could do it easily. Then Friday night rolls around and they're already standing in line at Chipotle wondering what happened. I decided to challenge myself to a no-spend weekend. And I'm going to document exactly what happened hour by hour, temptation by temptation. But more importantly, I'm going to challenge you to do it with me. Because here, that's what a no-spend weekend really reveals. How much of your spending is actually intentional versus just habit, boredom, or social pressure. It's like holding up a mirror to your relationship with money. And sometimes what you see is uncomfortable. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to do a no-spend weekend successfully, what mistakes to avoid, and most importantly, what you'll learn about yourself in the process. So let me walk you through my 48 hours without spending money, and then we'll talk about whether you're brave enough to try it yourself. First, let's establish the rules, because without clear boundaries, this challenge becomes meaninglessly paid for rent, utilities, subscriptions. You already have food that's already in your house, gas already in your car, free activities and entertainment, using things you already own. It's not allowed. Buying anything, even if it's just $2. Ordering food, delivery or takeout. Shopping online, even if it ships later. Paying for entertainment, like movies or bars. Convenience store runs for just one thing. Coffee shops, vending machines, or any food purchases. I didn't cheat by stocking up on groceries the day before, but I did do a realistic inventory of what I had. Turns out, I had more food than I thought, just nothing I was excited to eat. I also cleared my weekend of any paid plans. No concerts, no dinner reservations, no activities that required money. This isn't about suffering. It's about proving you can have a good weekend without spending. The challenge started Friday at 6 p.m. and ended Sunday at 6 p.m. 48 hours, $0. Hour by hour breakdown. The immediate 6 p.m. challenge starts. I'm already craving takeout because it's Friday and that's just what I do. My brain is literally programmed. Friday equals ordering food equals reward for surviving the week. Instead, I made pasta with jarred sauce and frozen vegetables. Cost $0. Satisfaction 6/10. The food was fine, but I was mourning the Thai food. I didn't order. 8 p.m. Friends texted, asking if I want to meet for drinks. This is where the challenge got social. I had to either explain I am doing a no-spend weekend awkward or lie, and say I am busy also awkward. I went with honest, doing a budget challenge this weekend, but I'm down to hang out if we do something free. They actually thought it was cool, and we ended up doing a game night at someone's apartment. Free entertainment, good friends, $0 spent. Saturday morning. The routine disruption, 7:30 a.m. Woke up, wanting my usual coffee shop run. The weekend coffee shop visit is sacred to me. It's not about the coffee. It's about the ritual, the atmosphere, the feeling of treating myself. Instead, made coffee at home with supplies I already had. Sat on my porch with a book. Cost $0. It was actually that nice, different, but nice. Last 10 a.m. Realized I had no plans, and my default is usually wander around Target or the mall. When you can't shop, you suddenly have to figure out what you actually want to do with your time. I went for a hike on a local trail I'd been meaning to explore. Free. Got exercise. Actually enjoyed myself more than another aimless mall trip. Saturday afternoon. The boredom spending trap. 2 p.m. This is when the boredom hit. I wanted to do something. Anything. And my brain kept suggesting things that cost money. Get frozen yogurt, go to the movies, browse that bookstore downtown. I realized how much of my weekend spending is just about fighting boredom or filling time. I ended up cleaning my apartment productive, calling a friend I hadn't talked to in months, meaningful, and starting a puzzle I'd bought months ago and never opened using what I already have. Saturday night, social pressure. Round 2, 6 p.m. Different friends, wanted to go to dinner. This one was harder to navigate because it was a bigger group and I didn't want to be the person who ruins the vibe. I was honest again. I'm trying a no-spend weekend, but I'll come hang out after dinner if you want to do something free. They ended up inviting me to come over and cook together with groceries they already had. Turned into a potluck situation where I brought pasta and salad with ingredients from my pantry. Costs $0. Good time. Absolutely. Sunday. The homestretch morning routine was easier because I'd already broken the coffee shop habit. Made breakfast with eggs and toast, basic, but satisfying. The afternoon was when I noticed something interesting. I was more creative about entertaining myself. I didn't default to spending money for dopamine hits. I read. I went for another walk. I video called family. I meal prepped for the week. By Sunday evening, I realized I'd spent $0 and had a genuinely good weekend. Different from my usual weekend, but not worse. Maybe even better in some ways. What I actually learned, here's what this challenge taught me that I wasn't expecting. Lesson number 1. Most of my weekend spending is habitual, not intentional. I spend money on weekends because that's what I do, not because I've thought about whether it's worth it. Coffee shop trip. Habit. Takeout Friday. Habit. Browsing stores. Habit. When you remove the option to spend, you're forced to examine whether those habits are actually serving you. Lesson number 2. Boredom spending is real and expensive. I calculated that my usual weekend spending is about $120 to $150. Coffee $6 to $8. 2 meals out $35 to $45. Random shopping $40 to $60. Entertainment $2 0 menos 30. That's $6,000 to $7,500 per year just on weekend spending. That's mostly about filling time. Here's lesson number 3. Free doesn't mean boring. I assumed a no-spend weekend would be miserable, but it wasn't. I did things I'd been meaning to do for months. I connected with friends more meaningfully. I was more present because I wasn't constantly thinking about what to buy next. Lesson number 4. Social spending is the hardest part. The challenge itself wasn't that difficult. The social navigation was. Our culture equates spending money with having fun, so opting out requires explanation and sometimes feels like you're being difficult. Lesson number 5. You probably have more resources than you think. The food in my pantry, the books on my shelf I haven't read, the hiking trails I haven't explored, the friends I haven't called. I had everything I needed for a good weekend already. The challenge just forced me to use what I had instead of constantly acquiring more. Your challenge and auto succeed. Alright, here is your challenge. Pick a weekend in the next month and commit to 0 spending for 48 hours. How to actually succeed. Asterisk. 1. Prepare, but don't cheat. Make sure you have basic food at home, but don't do a massive grocery run the day before. Work with what you have. 2. Clear your schedule. Cancel or reschedule any plans that require money. This isn't about suffering through obligations without spending. It's about choosing free activities. 3. Have a plan for social situations. Decide in advance how you'll handle invitations. Will you explain the challenge? Suggest free alternatives. The awkwardness decreases when you're prepared. Make a list of free activities before the weekend starts. Write down 10 to 15 free things you could do. Hiking, reading, calling friends, cooking new recipes with what you have. Free local events, organizing your space, learning something online. 5. Track the temptations. Every time you want to spend money, write it down. What did you want to buy? Why? Was it a bit boredom, social pressure, or genuine need? This awareness is the real value of the challenge. Reflect afterward. The challenge isn't just about not spending, it's about understanding your spending patterns. What was EC? What did you learn about your relationship with money? This isn't about proving you can deprive yourself for 48 hours. It is about breaking automatic spending patterns and discovering that you can have a fulfilling weekend without constantly reaching for your wallet. After my no-spend weekend, I didn't go back to spending $150 every weekend. I kept some of the habits I'd developed, making coffee at home most days, choosing free activities more often, being more intentional about what I actually want versus what's just habit. So, here's my question for you. Can you do a no-spend weekend? Not should you, or is it a good idea? Can you actually do it? Drop a comment and tell me. Are you going to take this challenge? And if you've already done an spend challenge, what was the hardest part? If this video motivated you to examine your spending habits, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Sometimes the best way to understand your relationship with money is to go without spending it for a weekend. Your wallet will thank you. Your self-awareness will thank you. And you might just discover that the best things in life really are free, or at least already paid for. Challenge accepted.